The peculiarity of Donald Trump, and now president once again, within days of assuming office, he's wasted no time in reviving his appetite for spectacle, vendetta, and the politics of division. His first sit down interview with none other than Sean Hannity was a masterclass in grievance politics, loaded with ominous hints of prosecution, deflection, the kind of rhetoric that keeps fact checkers gainfully employed. Joe Biden's final act as president, hosting Trump for tea, was a symbolic nod to the peaceful transfer of power. And despite his public distaste for Trump's authoritarian tendencies, Biden upheld the presidential norm with remarkable grace. He left a polite note wishing his successor prosperity, peace and grace, and optimism that, in hindsight, or with hindsight, feels almost tragically naive. Trump, of course, has no intention of reciprocating. Instead, he's launched his presidency with the kind of drama that would leave Shakespeare's Macbeth feeling underwhelmed. The teacups were barely washed before the interview aired, and Trump wielded threats of prosecution against Biden like a hammer. In the interview, he lamented the supposed injustices suffered by his allies, Steve Bannon, Peter Navarro, Rudy Giuliani, casting them as martyrs of a corrupt system. He painted himself as their champion, claiming that they lost their fortunes to legal battles initiated under Biden's administration. And the irony, of course, is that many of these injustices stemmed from legitimate convictions. Nevertheless, Trump's ability to distort reality into a narrative of persecution remains unparalleled. His most startling moment came when he mocked Biden for not pardoning himself, a statement that blurs the line between audacity and self-parody. Trump's implication that Biden should have anticipated legal peril highlights his own proclivity for wielding power vindictively. And Trump's rhetoric on prosecuting Biden hinges on long-debunked allegations of corruption tied to Hunter Biden's business dealings. And these claims, while titillating to Trump's base, lack substantiated evidence, as even the Republican-led impeachment inquiry failed to uncover any direct link to Joe Biden himself. Yet in Trump's hands, these unverified accusations become weapons of political warfare. Moreover, Trump's decision to appoint Pam Bondi as Attorney General signals a clear intention to politicize the Justice Department. Bondi, a Trump loyalist, has a track record of championing his causes, raising concerns about the weaponization of federal agencies. And Trump's Hannity interview wasn't just about Biden. He also he hinted at radical policy shifts, from sending active duty troops to the US-Mexican border to shutting down FEMA. These comments reflect his broader disdain for institutional norms. And by aligning his presidency with acts of disruption, Trump appears determined to remake the executive branch in his own image, chaotic, combative, and devoid of precedent. And this interview serves as a microcosm of Trump's second-term strategy, a blend of populist rhetoric, revenge-fueled policy-making, and a redefinition of American government. His fixation on Biden, however, risks overshadowing pressing national issues, from economic recovery to international relations. As Trump reignites the culture wars, the question arises, at what cost? Trump's early days in office have been marked by a relentless assault on decorum, accountability, and crucially, his predecessor. His threats of prosecution against Biden embody his approach to power, personal vendettas wrapped in populist language. And as his presidency unfolds, and he still hasn't sorted out Ukraine or solidified further the Israel-Gaza peace, one can only wonder whether the American people would tire of the endless parade of spectacle, the endless spectacle, or embrace it as the new normal. We stand at a crossroads now, even those of us looking on from elsewhere, watching history unfold through a lens warped by Trump's peculiar brand of control. Whether this path leads to renewal or ruin remains to be seen, but it is part of the global movement towards control and authority and AI, and in the hands of Elon Musk, of course, AI is far less a matter of artificial intelligence and more a matter of artificial insemination. Whether this path leads to renewal or ruin remains to be seen. For now, I hope the teacups survive, and I hope the message of that tea ceremony survives intact, and that Trump can reflect on the calm of that moment of tea with the Bidens, and he will temper his tantrums with tea, and not in any sort of Novichok type Putin like way. But if I were Trump, I would be seriously considering a cup of tea with Putin as well, not laced with polonium or Novichok, but simply laced with kindness and care and thoughtfulness for somebody who must be recovering from the chilly ordeal of a good 18 months in a Smeg fridge.